Welcome everybody, this is Monarch and it is dinner time, and I thought that I would share with you a salad recipe concept that I have used ever since I went 100% raw, and I'm hoping that this is going to help you achieve your dietary goals for your health and your beauty. Now, me personally, when I first went 100% raw, many people, they lose it, they get withdrawals, they get cravings, and they end up binging back on other stuff. For me, the most important thing wasn't necessarily taste, even though it tasted really good to me, but the most important thing to me was to fill my stomach up as much as possible, like to get rid of that empty stomach feeling, just to feel stuffed. So what I used to do, especially when I first started, was I would make huge salads, like probably 10 times about what I'm gonna make tonight, and I would just literally sit in front of the TV and just eat it. And this concept I'm gonna do will probably taste pretty bland because I was really an extremist, but you can add things like spices and other things to the mixture. But this is the basic concept that I did for many years. You could also use kale by putting it in a food processor with an S-blade and getting little pieces and doing the same concept. So what I do have here is lettuce. It seriously would be 10 times the size of this when I first went raw. And this is dulse. I didn't use salt much. This is it's a seaweed that has salt in it. I'll just dump the whole thing in there, and then you kind of just like mix it up, and then you have like dulse and lettuce. I never did onion in the past, but we're gonna do some onion. Throw some onion in here. And then lastly, I've been working out big time. So what we're gonna do is we're going to put, this is 2 avocados, 2 large, look at that. I'm gonna put the entire thing in there. I used to do like 5 avocados when I first started. You have to keep in mind I'm doing like an hour and a half of exercise like every other day, crazy intense. Okay, so what you do is you got 2 avocados in there, and then the secret is we have tomatoes we're gonna add in a minute, but we don't add it now because we're gonna mush it to nothing. You simply just like go like this with the lettuce, and you don't even need a dressing because the mixture of the avocado, the salty seaweed, it's almost like guacamole. I usually use more lettuce, so it's not like totally guacamole like this, but that's all right. And then what I do afterwards, since it's all mushed up now, I'll throw in the tomato, and I'll just gently massage it in versus squishing it. And then what you have here is a yummy, the mixture of the dulse, which is salty, the seaweed, the tomato, the onion is the ideal dressing you can possibly imagine. And then you have your salad. I could use a lot more lettuce in here if you want to make it like bigger and fuller, but to make it look better. I just put it in a smaller bowl to make it look better. But pretty much, voila, real quick and easy. You could throw, I'm gonna throw some Sprouties pumpkin seeds in here. You can throw in hemp seeds, spices, whatever you want. But what I would do is I would stuff myself with this every single day, probably seriously 10 times this. And that's how I honestly succeeded in going raw. I'm okay with like not having exquisite gourmet taste. It's more about just like over and over again, filling up my stomach more and more and more until I'm just like happy. So this is the secret recipe concept, salad recipe concept that you can use. Throw in more lettuce if you want it bigger. You could do as much avocado as you want, especially if you're coming from somewhere like Tim was, who's 301 pounds. I was doing like 5 avocados when I first started with like 12 huge tomatoes that were heirloom, like salads meant for like 10 people I would literally eat. All right, so this is your salad recipe concept. This is Matt Monarch, and we'll see you next time at therawfoodworld.com. All right, it's time for me to eat now. I'm gonna take these sprouty pumpkin seeds and just kind of pour them in and mix them in. And every time, fat is where it's at. It rebuilds the brain. It's part of the cell membrane. It's a precursor to hormones, and it's really good for your skin. And whenever I have my fatty salad, these are the 3 supplements I take in the evening, which are all fats. I love, most of all, taking our reishi spore oil. I feel it like crazy when I take it, but I'll seriously like take, it's just like getting all my fats in right now. And the avocado probably helps it absorb better. Sometimes I even do 3. You don't have to do that. That's just crazy amounts of reishi spore oil. Then I'll take this omega-3 DHA product with EPA. It's one of those algae oils. This was just a sample I got to test out their products, but it's the same as the Omega Zen. I'll just take like that much. Great for the brain. All these are just fats. Like these are the most valuable fats in the world. And then I'll take our CBD oil, which activates all sorts of receptors. And I take the 250 milligram because it's in our really high quality organic, certified organic hemp seed oil. So I'm getting all the benefits of the hemp seed oil also while taking the CBD oil. Here, I'll do a little less. I like the CBD, see it didn't all come out. So like a quarter, half dropper full probably. But what's happening here is I'm getting the CBD oil with hemp seed oil, ALA, which is an omega-3 fatty acid. And now I'll go to town on my salad.